Okay, this is my blog on autism and accessibility for voting. There's an election happening in my province, like a provincial election. It's not a federal election, it's a provincial election. It's happening in my province, where I live in Canada, and it's not very accessible. It's only in person only. There's no by phone or online option. It's really not accessible because there's some people who have social anxiety. They may not want to go in person to put the ballot in. They would rather do it online or over the phone because when they see people, they get anxiety, but if they talk to people on the phone, they don't. And some people don't like being in crowds or waiting outside. So, yeah. They need to have an online option and by phone option. Some people in the spectrum don't like going to big crowds, and they'd rather vote at home. Depends on the individual. And we're in a pandemic, so a lot of people would rather vote from home or just call over the phone and say who they want to vote for. It's just really not very accessible. They need to make it more accessible, and unfortunately, I can't vote, and I want to. But I just can't, because I'm not going to drive all the way back to my province and drive for 6 hours altogether, or fly and spend a lot of money on an expensive airline ticket. No thanks. But I do want to vote, but I'd rather just do it by phone or just online. Online is the best option for me. I like the press that I prefer. It's just really saddening that it's not very accessible. It should be accessible, but it's not. They just don't seem to care about people who have disabilities or people who have mental illness. They just don't care. They need to change the election to make it more accessible, to have multiple options of voting. And not still have the in-person option, but some people may not want to vote in person. They'll rather just do it at home. So they should have the option where you can vote online and make it user-friendly. Well, that's just it. And then my blog, I want to make it short. You are loved and cared about by someone, and if you want to do Zoom with a friend, just send them an email and say, hey, I want to do Zoom with you. Hope you have a good day, night, evening, whenever you watch this video, and you're loved and cared about by someone.